So one of the things that we think is important here at Vorhees and Martucci is giving back to the community. And some folks may have seen our name associated with the Joplin Memorial Run or helping give out sweatshirts or beanies to some of the area kids. But what we may not do a good job of talking about is this program called Building Bridges. And it used to be called Circles. And Building Bridges is one of those programs here in Joplin that helps people get back on their feet or improve their own lives. And it can be any walk of life, anybody who is struggling with any kind of an issue. And so we have some folks in the program who have had serious drug addictions, who have been to prison, who have basically screwed up their lives in about every way you can imagine. We have other folks who have never been in trouble with the law, never had a speeding ticket. You're a 56-year-old lady whose husband has always done everything to take care of you, and he passes away, and now you're sort of at a loss. What do I do? How do I live? And so Building Bridges is really one of those programs where there are no transactions at all. There is no handing somebody money. There is no benefit or government aid at all. It is where a group of people come together and they have dinner together every Thursday night. And after dinner, there's a class. And it's really more of a community gathering where you talk about how to live life better. And I've been involved with the program for almost 6 years now. And every Thursday, you'll see me there because that's where I want to be, because I want to see people who are trying to improve their own lives. They're not asking for a handout. They're not asking for any money to be given for them. They're not asking for anything to be given to them, except they want to learn some life skills that hopefully you learned from your mom or your dad or grandpa or some positive role model in your life. And it's amazing to me how if you can teach someone how to solve their own problems, you're never going to have to give them a handout again. And we live in a society now where I think it's too easy to write the check or to give somebody something instead of investing the time and to build a relationship with them. And that's why I like Building Bridges so much, is because what you're really doing is you're building a relationship with them and with the community. Let me give you a couple of examples. We had one fella who had grown up in a home that was full of violence and drug addiction. And he grew up, and guess what he did in his own life? Violence and drug addiction. And he went to prison. Somewhere along the way, he lost custody of his own son. Probably the right thing, honestly. Well, he gets out of prison. He gets clean, and he stays clean. He gets a job, and he's like, I'm not sure how to succeed in life. I have figured out how to stay off drugs and stay out of prison, which are huge steps. So he's already demonstrated that he is trying and able to improve his own life, but he needs a little help. He needs these skills that he didn't get in a home that didn't provide that kind of care. And so he came through the Circles program, now called Bridges, and it's really cool because now he runs his own company. Okay, he quit working for somebody else. He started his own company. He does construction and siding and things like that. He is now married, and he adopted his own son back. I had the privilege of being in the courtroom whenever he did that and got to help with that some. And you have never seen the transformation in somebody like what I've seen in him. And Bridges is billed as an anti-poverty program. Sure, it can help people with their finances. But again, the money's the least important part. It's about the relationship. And so you have somebody who is a convicted felon drug addict who lost custody of his son, who is now a successful businessman in our community, who is taking care of his family, owns his own home, and has adopted his son back. I want to be a part of that. I want to help other people achieve that kind of success in their own lives. The other thing about Building Bridges that's really fun is it's not a Band-Aid. We have a lot of these programs where, you can come in and you can volunteer for a day of service. That's awesome. I'm not discouraging people from doing that. You can go and you can sit with somebody for a week, or you can provide respite care for somebody for a weekend. I think all that's great. But if you want to help somebody transform their own lives, you've got to invest time. The Bridges program, we have 18 to 20 weeks in the first phase where they're learning life skills, okay, basic budgeting, long-term positive decision-making, how not to screw up your life, okay? And then for the next 2 years, they're in the program walking along somebody, a volunteer in the community, where somebody says, hey, if you want to improve your life, I'll walk alongside you. I will be there as you try and improve your life. Because we know it took you 37, 67, however many years to get your life to this point. You're not going to fix it in a day, in a weekend, in a month, not in 6 months. But if I walk alongside you for 2 years, you've got a really good shot of being successful. The other thing I love about Bridges is it's all participant driven, okay? We know that I can't change your life for you. Doesn't matter how much I want to, doesn't matter how much money I give you. It doesn't matter what I do. It matters what you do. And if I'm willing to be there, and I will be an accountability partner, I'll be a cheerleader, I'll be the guy who's on your, but you got to do it. It's your choice. It's your life. But if you're willing to invest in your own life, I'll be there with you. And I think that's what we all need. Whether you're trying to lose weight, get a promotion, a job, whatever, you need somebody there to cheer you on and also to say, hey, if you want to change your life, what are you doing to make that happen? That's what Bridges is. One of the other things that I think is really cool about Bridges is the kids program. So back when Bridges was still Circles, this national program called Circles, they didn't have a children's program. And one of the things that we in Joplin noticed was we got a lot of parents who didn't have the best upbringing. They didn't get all of those skills when they were a child. And so as the adults now are trying to basically take makeup classes and how to adult, the kids were there in childcare, not learning anything. That's a missed opportunity. Let's take care of that. And so now we have a children's curriculum. We have a program that's designed to teach these same children the same kinds of things that their parents are now learning. And Circles USA adopted a modified version of that curriculum, and we've continued to work on it. And so now, as the adults are learning how to live their lives better, their children are learning the same kinds of lessons tailored for their age group. And it's all about integrity, honesty, how to handle money, finances, long-term decision-making. And so it's not just this generation, but it's this generation that we're changing forever. And again, I think that's one of the cool things. The other amazing thing to me is to see the ripples in the pond is we intentionally have very small classrooms. Okay, we'll have 15 or 20 people at most in any one of our classes. We're on class 10 now. And the reason for that is you've got to build a community. It takes a lot of time and effort to invest in somebody to help them change their lives. And you've got to have that one-on-one interaction. And a lot of times you'll hear about people say, well, you're not helping that many people. Well, I mean, think about it for a second. We could give $100 or $1,000 to hundreds of people because it's going to help them with their heat, with their electricity, with their food stamps, pick some benefit. And that is one single touchstone for 30 seconds, maybe 30 minutes, and it's not really changing their life. And so I would rather invest wholeheartedly for 2 years in 15 people, because what happens is you change that life. And then everybody they come in contact with, they're seeing that change and they're experiencing that change. And so it's just like throwing a rock in a pond. You can see those ripple effects. And so going back to my example, the fellow who went through the program and adopted back his own son, it wasn't his life that got changed. It was his life, and it was his stepkids, and it was his now wife's, and it's his son's life, and it's his grandparents. I mean, it's everybody who sees that transformation. And that's what I love about Bridges. The other thing I think that's important is too often we think that past mistakes are permanent. I don't think there's anybody out there who's a lost cause. I don't think that there's anybody who can't improve their own life. And I don't think there's anybody who's too good to come in and get help. Because I got to tell you, I go there every Thursday because I want to help people, sure. But I really go there for me. I tell you, I get more out of it than I get. I had done some things well. I mean, finances I'm pretty good at. I like to pretend I'm pretty good at practicing law. But relationships, I'm still learning. I'm still trying to improve my faith. I am still trying to figure out how to be a better father, a better person in a relationship. And those are the skills that I'm continuing to work on. And this Bridges program is a place where I can figure out how to live my life better and help others to live their lives better. You got to come check it out.